index, right? The index is the number that is on the side of the radical here. What is it if there is no number there? 2, right? It's an assumed 2 if there's nothing there. So today we're going to talk about if I had fractional exponents. We've had fractional exponents before, but they actually can be simplified down into roots because essentially x to the power of 1/2 is the same as square root of x. It's the same thing. Okay, so the main takeaway from this is that when you have a variable with an exponent that's a fraction, the numerator is the exponent and the denominator is the root index. Right? So if I had x to the power of 1/2, that means that the x keeps the exponent of 1. Well, if you have the square root of x, what's the invisible exponent on that? 1, the exponent, right? And then it has a root index of 2. So if I had x to the power of 3/2, what would that be? It's still a square root because the index is 2, but now the exponent on x is 3. Okay? So you just need to memorize, basically, that the numerator is the exponent that goes on the variable, the denominator is the root index. So 12 to the power of 1/3 is the cube root of 12. 49 to the power of 1/2 is the square root of 49, which is just 7, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's look at these ones they want us to write in radicals. 8 to the power of 1/2. How can I rewrite that as a radical? What's the root? Sorry, not the root. What's the index? Sorry. 2. So it's a square root of 8 to the first power, which is just 8. Hey! So 27 to the power of 1/3. What's the exponent? 1. What's the exponent? It's 1. What's the root index? 3. So it's the cube root of 27. 81 to the power of 1/2. What's the exponent? 1. What's the root index? 2. So square root of 81. Good. Okay, so if I went backwards, square root of 10, 10 to the power of 1/2.
Good morning, Friday.
Cube root of 64. 1/3. Very good. I'm about to sneeze. Square root of 8. 8 to the power of 1/2. Good. Okay. So, if I'm simplifying 49 to the power of 1/2, if I rewrite it as a radical, what would that be? Square root of 49. But if it's asking me to simplify it, what would that give me? 7. Why don't you guys go down the line and simplify those for me? Okay, so 64 to the power of 1/3. 4, because it's the cube root of 64. Very good. 16 to the power of 1/2. 4, because it's the square root of 16. 144 to the power of 1/2. 12, because it's the square root of 144. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to tell you now, if it pops up on the STAR test on your EOC, it's going to be a power of 1/2. Okay, it's not going to be a power of 1/3. So just be familiar with that, the fact that the power of 1/2 is the same as square root. Okay, be able to go back and forth between those. Okay, now the rest, well, review of negative exponents. Everything else is a review, so I'm going to let you guys have that to look at on your own, except for number 14, because it's a negative fraction. Okay? What's the root on that? The root index. What's the root index? 3. What's the exponent? -1. So 216 would be to the power of -1. So realistically, this is the cube root of 1 over 216. That's a tricky one. But that's why I did it with you. Okay? You're not going to see one like that on a test or a quiz. That kind of stuff's not going to pop up on you. Okay, all right. So my priority right now for you, this back page is an optional page. It's more fractional exponent work. This is my priority. Okay? So for you guys to practice the simplifying radicals, because this is a majority of what your quiz is over, and there are a few fractional exponents tomorrow. Okay?